Hey everybody, it's Pete Cohen. Welcome to episode 168 of the My 365 podcast series, How to Be a Visionary. This is one of the last podcasts of the year of 2018, and thank you everyone who's been a massive part of what we're doing, sharing inspiration with people all over the world. Get ready for another game-changing podcast as we get you guys ready for an awesome 2019. Let's do this. Not now, but right now. Hey, it's Pete Cohen. Welcome to episode 168 of the My 365 podcast series, coming to you live and direct from Durban in South Africa. Now, when you hear this, I will be at home. I'll probably be either eating some Christmas dinner or I'll be eating some leftovers. And you'll be listening to this and you'll be inspired, because there's no question about it. How to be a visionary is something that we really all need to discuss. Really important, because let's face it, we're all visionaries. We're all using our minds, but most of us aren't using it in a particularly productive way. And I want to challenge you to kind of think big about where you're going, because if you don't think big, you're just going to get lost in what's going on from your day to day. Your vision will be what's happening to you right now, and that might be fine, but I think for the majority of people, it doesn't work. You get trapped in your own nervous system, you get trapped in your own story, and boy, have I seen that here in South Africa. I've never been to South Africa before, and it's really humbling, and it's really opened my eyes, actually. We're here doing some presentations. We also have a network marketing company that we've launched here in October, and we're working with some incredible people, unbelievable people. It's been a real eye-opener from working with people who have a lot to people who have a very little. People in townships who really are in poverty and are a real product of an environment that is very hard to get out of. But whether you're rich or poor, we all have the ability to think differently. And that's something I believe that every single one of us needs to wake up about and realize our ability to visualize. Now, we were talking to some people yesterday, and this is one of the things I want to talk to you guys about today, is we were talking about our vision. And I asked everyone, what do you think I think about when I think of South Africa? So they said a few things. And I said, really? If that's what you think? Biltong and rugby? And I said, no. The thing I think about when I think of South Africa is Nelson Mandela. Now, I didn't know who Nelson Mandela was until the 80s, until I heard this song. I've got this actually teed up here, listen.
Nelson Mandela, free, Nelson Mandela.
I remember hearing that song in the 80s and thought, oh, I really like that song. It came from an era of music, like two-tone music, that I really, really liked. I thought, who are they singing about? Now, I can't believe I'm saying this, but these were the days where there was no Google. So I actually had to ask someone. And I can't actually remember who I asked, but they told me he was in captivity. So, and in fact, even in that song, they talk about, 20 odd years in captivity. And I became very interested in Nelson Mandela, as so many people did around the world, because he became an icon, and he was in prison. But he was obviously a visionary. He obviously had a vision of what was going to happen when he came out. He spoke about this. His vision was the ending of apartheid and for blacks and whites to live in unity. And to a certain extent, that happened. But let's face it, the guy had a big vision. And that's what we really, really need to talk about. In fact, it's so important to talk about this. You've been gifted this equipment that you have and I have, that allows us to think clearly about where we're going. But even blind people have this. I mean, I was blind to what blind people do. I was ignorant. I didn't know any blind people, I didn't know why they were. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but what blind people have a white cane, what are they doing? Are they just tapping the floor just for the hell of it? Or are they tapping it on the floor because it gives them a visual representation of where they are? It's pretty obvious, isn't it? And I work with the England blind cricket team, as many of you know, and they're not just holding the bat, just going, oh God, I hope I hit it today. The ball makes a sound and they make a visual representation of where the ball is. How we use our minds absolutely affects everything. And visioneering is absolutely essential as we really start to actively think about what we want to create. And I think it's essential that we think big. And I want to explain to you I want to explain why that is so important. Because if you think small, you'll just default back to the story that you've been telling yourself. Now, yesterday we were working with a group of people, and predominantly the people in the room were black. And as many of you probably imagine, that black people in South Africa have been second-class citizens for a long time. Now, just because apartheid isn't here anymore, many people are still affected by that system. And it was really interesting. We were sitting in a room, and this is what a couple of the people said. Amazing people, just beautiful human beings who have a heart to make a difference. But one of them said, black people will listen to white people. When you're a black person and you talk to another black person about an opportunity, and this is what we have with our networking business, we have an opportunity for people to start something from nothing and create something very, very, very big. And when she told me this, I thought, I heard what she was saying, and I thought, okay, there's probably some truth in this, but we don't have to relate to the truth. We have to be bigger than that. We have to have a bigger vision of where we're going. Because if you had the vision of, for example, growing a big business and helping people, where you have a big team of people and you've created something hugely powerful, and it's so big in what you see that you don't actually relate to the story that you're telling yourself, and maybe many people are telling themselves that black people in South Africa will only listen to white people. And I suppose that's where I struggle, because I know the stories that I've been telling myself many times in my life, and I have to wake up sometimes and realize, even this morning I woke up, I was telling myself a story that made me think in a way that wasn't particularly productive. So I had to stop and really refocus on what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, where I'm going, and the enormity of my vision. I have quite a few visions around what I do. I have a vision with my coaching, that we take coaching to the masses. We inspire people all over the world to be educated in a way where they can create a better life with their health, their well-being, their family, their work, everything. And with our networking business, I see the products that we sell in so many people's houses all over the world, where they're drinking our tea and our coffee, and they're healthy and they're feeling better. And we have an army of people who have built big teams of people who all feel that they're a part of something. And I see this so clearly in my mind. It's massive. Maybe I need to think a bit bigger. Maybe I need to think like Elon Musk. Go and listen to what Elon Musk talks about. People laughed at him many years ago when they said about driverless cars. And even though he had 5,000 cars, I think last year, that kind of went into flames, he still, and his stock went right down. He still continued to say, this is what we're going to do. We're going to fly to Mars. We're going to live on Mars. And people laugh at people. But this is the real important point of being a visionary, is to make your dreams so big that people laugh at you. When I read Think and Grow Rich for the first time, and Napoleon Hill in 1937, he said, dream so big that when you tell people what your dreams are, people will laugh at you. Now, why is that important? Because basically they're just telling you that they don't believe you. But if you tell enough people, you'll find people that go, wow, that's amazing. People need visionary people to follow. But the thing about leadership is you are leading yourself right now. You're leading yourself through this podcast. You might be making some notes. You might be doing something else. Maybe I'm waking you up. Maybe you can feel what I'm saying to you. And what I'm saying to you is, look, dream big, think big, believe bigger, believe faster, create a vision in your mind's eye that when you think about it, maybe even you laugh. But the more you think about it, the more you start to re-encode information into your nervous system. When people say we are what we think, what that really means is we are what we picture because we think in pictures. And you've got to create a steered vision, something that when you see it, you know the direction that you're moving in. Otherwise, you'll continue to create a story, a vision, which is, I'm scared, it won't work, I'll never get out of debt, people are going to leave me, people aren't going to like me. And if you don't use your mind to create a big vision, you just be steered back to what it is that you already know. And this is where, as a coach, and if you see me as your coach or take this as a coaching session, you've got to leave your old nervous system. Your old nervous system is addicted to certain ways of thinking and acting. For example, if I said, hey, look, no mobile phone for a month or a year, if you thought about that, you might think, oh, that would be deeply liberating to do that. But then your nervous system will probably kick in and go, no, you couldn't do that because you'd be missing out. FOMO, fear of missing out. This happens with, or meditate every day for the next 31 days. That's a great idea. And then your old nervous system kicks in and goes, no, but you couldn't do that because, oh. But if you think big and you dare to dream, and your dreams aren't just about your life better, but really transforming the lives of others, then you awaken something inside yourself. I like to call it a calling. What's the calling in you? What's the calling that you feel in 2019 that you've got to do? What's the idea that keeps coming up for you? I think when we find a bit of solitude for ourselves, where we get lost in the moments of just existing rather than trying to survive every moment, the ideas come to us. Many of us have had ideas, but then the nervous system, the old way of thinking just kicks in and goes, no, that hasn't worked before, it's not going to work in the past, let's stick to what we know. And this is where my mission is so much about liberating people and waking them up to the fact, look, you've got this equipment inside you, let's dream big, come on. All of us, let's dream big, let's think about making the world a better place in some way, shape or form. Realize that there is going to be a force that opposes that. There's always going to be the force. It could be people you know or that voice in your head. We call it a duck that quacks away and goes, no, don't do that, stay where you are. Or it could be the other part of you. The Greeks called it a daimon, the Romans called it a genius, the part of you that goes, come on, let's go, let's do it. In fact, yesterday, and I really hope that all the people that were in the room yesterday were in Durban, where we were working, people in our team, I really felt that people wanted to almost jump up and go, yeah, we can do it. But there's this energy that exists of people almost frightened to show that they are excited about what is possible. It's like there's a part of us that's just lost in the past, lost in the moment, rather than daring to dream big. We have a saying which I heard someone say many years ago, say, go big or just go home. Go big or go home. If we want to RIP to our old story, and we want to collapse our old story, we have to think big, dream big. But every single day, we have to connect to it. Because if we don't connect to it, there's so many distractions. There's so many things that can just take our attention from really doing what it is that we need to do. We live in a time now where we can come up with these ideas and we can actually make things happen like never before, because there is more freedom in most parts of the world. There are more people making millions in 1 to 2 years than there ever has been in the history of man, but with so much distraction. The most valuable thing that we really have is our attention and is our ability to be a visionary. And I have to be honest here, I am looking for people in 2019 who really want to stand up and go, look, I'm going to be a visionary this year and I'm going to look to create something big, which changes my life, which changes the world. But here lies another challenge around all of that, is if that's what you want, don't expect it to come easy. Because if you want something big to happen, there's a price that you're going to have to pay for that. And it's almost like the universe is going to throw something back at you and say, hey, you want that? Okay, let's see if you can handle it. See if you can handle this obstacle, this person saying yes and not doing what they said they were going to do, or unforeseen circumstances. Maybe you get sick or someone else gets sick and you get moved off the path that you were on. But that's almost the test. Can you keep going in the face of adversity? Look, many of you have heard me say many times that what drives people often is a desire to move away from their current circumstances. But this is the disease of our time, that when we move away from where we were, or we're not in that pain, we get comfortable and then we sit still. And then slowly and slowly and slowly we go back to our old nervous system, we go back to the old pattern, and before we know it, we're back where we were before. How many people do you think are going to have that when they wake up on January the 1st? Overweight, eating too much, not moved very much. Oh God, I feel so fat. And they're in pain, can't get their clothes on, they're a bit out of breath, put loads of food in their body they didn't need, so they've got a desire to move away from that pain. But then there's no vision, it's just moving away from something. That's not a vision, that's just pain that moves you forwards. People like Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, their vision was much, much more than the pain that they were in. It was something bigger, it was something better than their current circumstances. And the way we have to, and I mean have to, elevate ourselves is to think big, go big, or go home. Go back to what you know. We have to go to a higher place, a higher calling. So what are the ideas inside you? What are the visions inside you that, you could literally just start writing them down, even draw them. Patty Dobrovolsky, the woman I've been working with, who's coaching me and I'm coaching her, this is a woman who teaches people how to visualize where they are and where they want to go, their current circumstances, their desired state. Google it, go and check it out, YouTube it, just type in Patty, don't even try and spell her surname. Patty TED Talks. She's done 3 TED Talks. There's one that's like 10 minutes long, and those of you that follow me and are already a part of our elite coaching group, you've gone through that masterclass with her, where many of you have drawn it, and what you draw has come true. My wife did that. My wife, who was not given very long to live, when I asked her a few years ago, where do you want to go where are we going with our lives? And she started crying. She started crying because she didn't have a vision of the future. Her vision was just, I don't want to die. That is not a vision, my friends. It is not. And I'm looking for people who want to stand up and tell people their vision. But think about it first. Draw it and tell a few people, and then tell a few more people about it. And I guarantee you, because this is what I want for the people here, especially in South Africa, to say, hey, this is what we're doing. We're creating a really big team of people. We're going to get this product out into the marketplace. We're going to help people get healthy. We're going to build a team. We're going to help people increase their income. We're going to build a tribe of people who have moved out of poverty and into something more, where they have more freedom, more choice. They travel. Their life is so much better. And it's that vision. It's not just talking it, it's seeing it, it's feeling it in every single part of your body. Because if you don't, you'll just be like everyone else. And maybe only 2% of people around the world do this. 2% of people who are the Richard Bransons, the Elon Musks, the people who have really decided to think big and then tell people their vision. This is my calling to you, to be a visionary. Don't be like everybody else. This is free. You don't have to have money to think big. How many people have done that before? And how many people will do it going forwards? This is my calling. The role of a coach is to take someone from where they are to a better place. And I believe every single one of us should be coaching ourselves and then coaching other people. And it's because you don't see a brighter future. It's because you don't see it, you hold on to the existing one. You hold on to the story you've been telling yourself. Don't be a victim of your story. Don't be a victim of your past. Be a hero. A hero is someone who looks to the future and realizes there's a bigger picture here. We need to protect. We need to make the world a better place. And every single one of us has this. Look, many people all over the world have got clogged arteries because of the way that they eat. And I believe stress can also clog our arteries. Many of the ways that we think are clogging our ability to dream, to think big, to get outside of our current circumstances and really think about making the world a better place. So as we bring this podcast to an end, and like I say, I think this is the 168th podcast that we've done. You know, we started with a vision of our podcast of just being able to share some information with people all over the world, and that's what we've done. You know, we have listeners that are literally in all corners of the world, and we're very thankful, but it all started off with a vision. And I really want to finish off by saying this to you, because I feel this is really the crux of this whole thing. We are so obsessed with what we can see, what we can see now. I want you to get obsessed with what you can't see. See what's in your future. We all have that ability. You used to do it all the time as a child. Daydream. Thinking about how you wanted things to be, not how you didn't want things to be. Get obsessed with what you can't see and make that more real every single day. We have a whole load of resources. We developed a system called priming. It's a very simple technique. Get in contact with us if you want us to get that priming track to you. In fact, I think if you go to petecohen.com/fear, petecohen.com/fear, you can actually get that priming track for free. It's something you can listen to where we really focus on building gratitude as you think about the things you're grateful for in your life, because that really helps to create a vibration inside our body that when we start to think about the future, it becomes a lot easier. Let's not be a victim of our past. Let's get obsessed with what we can't see to the point where we really start to see it and it seems real to us, that it allows to elevate out of our current problems and really get fired up about what we're going to do, to the point where you don't talk about what you're going to do, you talk about it in a way that you've already done it. This applies to every single person in the world. Rich, poor, black, white, whatever you are, you're a human being. And strip it all away, we've all got pretty much very similar equipment that we've been gifted. Let's use it. I'm wishing all of you a happy, merry Christmas, a beautiful new year. I'm looking for visionaries in 2019. Let me know if you're one of those people, because the time to do this is not now. It's not now. It is right now. Happy, happy, beautiful day.